These few days, we talk about the lifetime management of TAVR. Key point is maybe need to do the root enlargement. Explain to us why root enlargement procedure is so important in TAVR.
Well, the first valve is important because the first valve serves to be the platform for future implants. So if you're going to plan one surgery in patient's lifetime, that surgery has to be planned at the right time and the biggest valve possible to be inserted in the patient's annulus. So if you put a big valve through a root enlargement procedure, subsequent valve-in-valve procedure will be safer than a redo stenotomy for a surgical replacement. So if you do a valve-in-valve, you want that gradient to be low.
Yes.
So that both the valve, the second TAVI valve, can be well expanded and the durability will be good. So hence, the first valve, when you implant it, you should put the biggest one possible in through a root enlargement procedure so that you can actually have a good lifetime management of the patient through future valve-in-valve procedure.
So it's like the Russian doll. We need to make the first valve as big as possible, right?
Correct, yes.
Yeah, so regarding about this, so I'm just wondering if the procedure of the TAVI itself, does it influence how you interpret how to explant the THV, like the difficulty of explanting THV in the future?
Sure, of course. So if you do have a first valve as a TAVI valve, then you potentially, in younger patients with long lifespan, you'll be looking at either a redo TAVR, if it's possible, TAVR explant. Now, redo TAVR, possible in many patients, but there is a subgroup of patients that you can not do that. For example, those patients who were implanted a tall valve whose commissure was not aligned, and the VTC and VTA are very, very small, and those situations where you cannot even modify the leaflet to make TAVR and TAVR possible, then you have to do TAVR explant. Now, TAVR explant initially was regarded as a very high-risk procedure because potentially the first TAVI valve can be stuck to the ascending aorta, aortic root, even coronary ostium,
Yes.
annulus, and also possibly even anterior leaflet mitral valve, right?
Yeah.
So when you pull things out, you may end up with a root replacement, mitral valve repair, and procedures like that. And hence, it is a very specialized surgical technique that is needed to be relearned by many surgeons. So in an experience center, like for example in Michigan, Dr. Shinichi Fukuhara, he's personally explanted over 200 TAVI valve, and in his hands now has become a very safe procedure. In his hands, he told me through personal communication that in his unit, elective TAVI valve explant, the 30-day mortality is below 3%. So in the region about 2%. So that's very, very good from the initial days of double-digit 30-day mortality. So I think it's a procedure that all surgeons need to relearn. And when you're well-trained, elective procedure should be a low mortality procedure.
Any tips and tricks in explanting this kind of THV?
I think important thing is to be ready. Analyze your CT and simulate situation that you will encounter in theater. For example, before you go on, you need to know what your myocardial protection strategy is. The last thing you want is to open the aorta and realize that you cannot access the coronary ostium, you cannot stop the heart. So things like that should be avoided. You really need to be analyzing know your first TAVI valve very well, analyze the TT and be prepared for all eventuality. Your cardioplegia technique, your strategy for accessing and taking the valve out. So different valve requires different strategy. There are many described strategies of how to extract the valve in the literature, and I think it's something that we all need to relearn.
Thank you so much. So it's a very good opportunity to learn from you, this kind of experts in this kind of
Thank you very
field.
much.
And if you want to learn more, please come to Taipei Valves 2027. And see you next year. Bye.
Bye for now.